Welcome to this miles by foot adventure as we travel between the two main airports serving Chicago, Chicago Midway, code MDW, and Chicago O'Hare, code ORD. During your travels through Chicago, you may have need to get between these two major hubs, either intentionally as a way to save money on two separate bookings, or because something in your journey has gone awry and you're connecting out of necessity to complete your travel. Either way, both airports are well connected to Chicago's impressive mass transit system, and getting between them is easy, even if you don't use transit in your own hometown. We'll also talk about connecting to Union Station, Chicago's long-haul rail terminal. Let's transit! Midway is a major operating base for Southwest Airlines, making up well over 90% of its daily traffic. Flying to the Chicago area on Southwest, whether or not you're connecting, makes a lot of sense between their free checked bags, easy connections, convenience to downtown, and frequent service options. Midway is the southern terminus of the Chicago Transit System's Orange Line. A ride on the Orange Line to the downtown loop takes about 30 minutes. If you're at Midway needing to take the Orange Line, you'll leave security, then go downstairs to baggage claim. From there, you'll see signs for ground transportation, including the Orange Line. Follow the signs around the corner, down the elevator, then through the long corridor to the station outside. Before heading to the train platform, you'll need to buy a ticket, usually in the form of a Ventra Card. This contactless Ventra Card costs $5, but it comes with $5 worth of transit credit, making the card more or less free. A one-way trip costs $2.50, with no cost to transfer to another line, as long as it's been less than 2 hours since you swiped your card for the first ride. On weekdays, the Orange Line runs every 8 to 12 minutes, with more trains during rush hour. On Saturdays, service runs at least every 15 minutes, and Sundays at least every 20 minutes. These trains start running around 4 a.m. and run until at least 1 a.m. every night, sometimes later. If you're connecting between Midway and O'Hare, you'll connect at the multi-level Clark Lake Station on the loop. The Blue Line, which will take you to O'Hare, arrives and departs underground, while every other line that uses this station connects above ground. So if you're coming from Midway, you'll go downstairs to catch the Blue Line to O'Hare, and arriving passengers from O'Hare will go upstairs to catch the Orange Line. Inside the loop, the Orange Line is one way. Any Orange Line train you see will take you to Midway. Unlike the Orange Line, the Blue Line operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with departures every 15 minutes at the longest, or every 7 minutes at the shortest. The leg between Clark Lake and O'Hare takes a little longer, between 40 and 45 minutes. In total, baggage claim to baggage claim, I'd allow 2 hours just to connect between O'Hare and Midway. In other words, I would never book a flight with less than 4 hours between landing at one airport and departing from another. If you're landing at O'Hare but need to transfer to Midway, you'll head downstairs to your terminal's baggage claim if you arrived at terminals 1, 2, or 3. If you arrived at Terminal 5, or Concourse M, leave security and take the ATS, O'Hare's landside people mover, towards the other terminals. O'Hare's Blue Line station is across from Terminal 2, but is accessible via pedestrian tunnels off the baggage claims in Terminals 1, 2, or 3. Once in the baggage claims or from the people mover, follow the signs for CTA, or Trains to City. There are Ventra Card machines outside the turnstiles. One quick note, unlike a ride from Midway, which only costs $2.50, a ride from O'Hare costs $5, which will use the full balance of a freshly purchased Ventra Card. It still allows for transfers within 2 hours though, so you can still get to Midway on one swipe. You just get one full ride instead of 2, as you would from Midway. Remember, if you're headed from O'Hare to Midway, you'll transfer at Clark Lake by going upstairs once you arrive, then take any Orange Line train to its terminus at Midway. If you're interested in more direct options between the airports, both airports offer a shared ride taxi service if you're traveling with others, at set rates for each traveler. As of May 2023, from Midway, the fare to O'Hare is $35 per person, and from O'Hare to Midway it's $37 per person. Be sure to tip your hardworking drivers. Chicago's also a popular starting point for travelers departing by rail. Chicago's historic Union Station is located a short walk from the Chicago Loop, with the closest stations being Quincy on the Orange Line, just 2 stops past Clark Lake Station, or Clinton, 5 stops past Clark Lake when coming from O'Hare. Union Station is home to several popular long-haul Amtrak services, including the California Zephyr, the Cardinal to New York, the Capital Limited to DC, and the Empire Builder to the Pacific Northwest. If you're using the Clinton station, head upstairs at that station and exit onto Clinton Street, walking north 2 blocks to Union Station. If you're on the Orange Line, like I was, you'll head down the iron stairs, south on Wells Street to Jackson Street, then hook a right, heading west. 3 blocks away, you'll find the entrance to Union Station and your next railroad adventure. Chicago's central location within our great nation makes it one of the most common places you'll be passing through on your way from sea to shining sea. While transferring between airports during that time may seem impractical or difficult, there are plenty of great reasons you might be willing to do it. If you've stuck with me this long, I hope you'll come back in an upcoming video where I discuss a super easy but tried and true travel hack you can use to travel less expensively, especially internationally. While several cities facilitate this kind of travel, Chicago is one of the best at it, not least because of the connectivity of its 2 airports. Also in the works, I'll be bringing you several new airport tours, as I venture out to some of the most interesting airports our country has to offer. Until then, thanks for watching, and keep moving forward.